It's 6 o'clock. I'd like to call the June 4th meeting of the Springfield Police Advisory Committee to order. So if you can please call the roll.
Michelle Weber. Josh Aguilar.
Here.
Davidson. That was his excuse. Jonathan Hayes.
Here.
Matthew Ballum. Eddie Dillon. Here. Richard Jones.
Here.
Brett Yancey.
Here.
Eric Adams.
Here. Okay, next item on our agenda, approval of minutes from our April 2nd, 2026 meeting. Maybe you have a chance to review those.
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Right, so I have a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any adjustments or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Joe? Minutes are approved. Business from the audience. Do we have anyone who has signed up to provide public comment?
Well, I have to find the ability to raise hands. It keeps disappearing on me. We have one attendee in the audience, and I would like to give that person the ability to raise hands if I can find it. Oh, here we go. I just had
I
it.
did just have.
Can I turn it off? Oh, here we go. Okay, so the ability to raise hands is now turned on. So I don't know if you want to read that part, Eric.
Okay. We're now at the business from the audience portion of the agenda. Anyone either in the audience, person here or online would like to make public comment. If you're online, please raise your virtual hand. Otherwise, if you're in the audience, please submit the public comment.
We have no one signed up in person to speak. And it doesn't look like our guest is raising a hand.
Okay. Or then next meeting on the agenda for next item on the agenda, business from Springfield Police Department, Deputy Chief Crowley.
Order already to me. Just flying by. First of all, thanks for having me here. I'm here in lieu of Chief Fresh, who's not able to make it tonight. So I'll go over a couple of things that are happening here at SPD, a couple of historical things, a couple of things coming up here in the near future. I'm going to start off with good news. Last month, one of our detectives was recognized by the Delta Rotary with Law Enforcement Recognition Award. So Detective Brandon Sink was nominated and received that award. I always like when community groups are able to do that for our officers. Animal control is a little bit of a hot topic right now. Our prior animal control officer ended up retiring. He was retired from another job and decided to move on, and nothing bad, but we're going to be filling that position soon. In the meantime, we're kind of going back to the old way of doing things, in a way of, hey, if there's no animal control officer on duty, either our community service officers or our police officers will respond to the call for service, depending on what it is. There are criminal elements to animal control when there's a vicious dog or someone's attacked that our police officers will take reports on. Otherwise, if it's it could be a simple dog at large call running around in traffic, or maybe somebody's found an animal. Our community service officers will also be responsive to that too. So it'll be a shared responsibility until we get somebody full-time hired into that position, but we're not going to just ignore it and let it go. Our hiring's going well. We recently reopened up our lateral hiring position, I think just this past week, within the last week, and it'll be open for a couple of weeks. We've had some good success hiring lateral officers in the past. And for those that don't know what lateral means, it basically means they're a certified police officer somewhere else, whether inside of Oregon or outside of Oregon. So would you complete background checks on those folks, just like we would anybody else, make sure they're a fit for PD, and we're doing our due diligence and hiring. In the meantime, we're still continuing to hire brand new recruits. Just about a week and a half ago, 2 more recruits graduated from DPSST. So we've had 4 graduations in the last 2 months, and we'll have 2 more brand new officers graduating this month. We spaced them out on purpose.
And 1 detention officer.
And 1 detention officer graduates next week for our jail. So for those who are wondering, why don't you just throw all 6 in one academy class, get them all certified and on to work? It's because we're a small department. We have a limited number of field training officers. So it's better to space out those hirings. So we're not just having all of a sudden 6 people that are just all at once being trained by 6 officers. We can rotate and we can address needs more specifically that way. We can cater our field training to the needs of the new officers and kind of plug and play the best trainers with the needs of the new officers. So by the end of this month, we'll have 6 brand new folks in the last 3 months, and we're excited about that. This coming June 7th is First Responders Night over at the Drifters Ballpark at the stadium. They had opening night the other night. I was out there. I saw a few folks from here in this room out there that night, and it's a good time. For those that don't know, the Springfield Drifters Summer League baseball team in town play at the Hamlin Ball Fields, and we're going to have a First Responder Night this coming weekend. We'll be out there with some vehicles. There's an event, I believe we call it Touch a Truck, but it really just allows people to kind of see what we have, where the tax money's going, what vehicles we have. Other folks may come out and show off what they have and let people see what equipment we buy, what we use it for, and let people see firsthand what we're doing. It's kind of a fun community engagement event. Speaking of community engagement events, one of our probably definitely the most popular event, the K9 competition will be taking place later this month on June the 20th, day before Father's Day, out at Silky Field. And please come out there and have a good time, interact with our staff members, our police officers, community members, anybody that's there to once again showcase the hardworking people we have in the department. But we also invite folks from around the state to participate. Police agencies from around the state will be here. We have good working relationships and training relationships with those agencies. And we'll go to their competitions, they'll come to ours, and it's a chance to it really incentivizes the K9 handlers to become the best that they could be. When it's competitive like that, you really want to train hard, be the best you can be for the day-to-day. The competitions are great, but it does improve their day-to-day status when they're on the street and they're working those animals in a very safe, efficient way. And National Night Out. I'm not sure when you meet next, but our National Night Out is August 4th.
2 days after that National Night Out, we'll meet again.
All right, so August 4th, National Night Out will be taking place again at the William Lane Center on South 32nd Street. We have a great partnership with William Lane. We've had that event there the last year or 2, maybe it's 2. It's just last year. It was such a success last year, honestly. It was a no-brainer to have it at the same location this year. We're able to spread things out, have room for people to walk around, engage with police, engage with fire who may be there, but also engage with Lima Lane folks. It's who's right nearby with the facilities, and really kind of show the community partnership we have as part of Team Springfield. So we're looking forward to that event. I think I talked about everything that I could think of PD wise, but if I think of something later, I'll raise my hand and maybe Tiffany will call on me and I can actually give you another update, but that's most of what's going on right now.
Questions from the committee members?
Any of those new people get cut loose since our last meeting?
Michaela Christensen got cut loose. We hired her. It was a very memorable time. The week that a couple of our officers were attacked on Gateway Street was her first week. It was her second day, I believe, as a police officer. And when she came to work the next day, I had a big smile on my face. And I walked up and I said, "It's good to see you here today. After what happened yesterday," and in her mind, it was like, "Nope, this is what I want to do." And I was happy. Now she's been cut loose. She passed critical on training. She's still on probation. We have an 18-month probation, but she's on her own. And so she's brand new on the street. And the other 4 are with FTOs right now on different shifts and in different phases of learning. They're all pretty young and they're all pretty energetic. And it's fun to have to harness that energy. we don't have to really push. These are, so far, we've been lucky getting people that are full of energy, and they're doing well in training right now.
All right. Next order of business from the committee.
Oh, Brett has his hand up.
Yeah, hey, sorry. Hey, Deputy Chief Crawley, I just want to give a shout out. There was a story this morning on Officer Cardwell and her canine, and it was great. I don't know if anybody was able to see that, but it was, I think it was on KVAL.
Email came out. I didn't see the story, but I heard they were going to do it.
It's worth going and looking up. It was a really good story.
Thank you for sharing that. I'll share that with all the folks here.
Yep.
And sorry to backtrack, Eric, but I remembered there's a business from the audience, that 410 email that I sent to you guys. I just wanted to let you know that I did respond to her and let her know that we would do some like PSA type stuff, and we put some stuff on social media about what to do in that kind of situation. So skip that.
Okay, looks like we're free now to move on to business from the committee. First item, the annual report draft review. I'm gonna take that.
Go for it.
So Tiffany met with Dick and Josh and myself a couple times since our last meeting. We drafted the report as is presented packet for today's meeting. Roughly the same type of content that we had for the previous year's report, although we did expand it slightly to include summary of topics that came up through business from the committee. Just felt it was important to have that content for the council's review, and to a certain respect, there were items that we noticed in reviewing the minutes where something had been brought up during member information share that required kind of follow up or follow through at the subsequent meeting, and just wanted to demonstrate that that was happening. So I guess this is our opportunity to provide any questions or less revisions to the report. Otherwise, we look forward to finalizing that and prepare a presentation to the council at.
It would be a council briefing, then memo would be sent to council via memo once we finalize it.
Any comments, any questions, committee members?
Terry has punctuation and grammar.
You did a pretty good job this time.
Fast. We need to vote on finalizing it.
Yeah, sure.
We probably should.
Okay. Seeing no amendments to the annual report as presented, I would entertain a motion for approval to finalize the report.
Eric, I do take that motion.
Okay, thank you, Brett, for the motion. Anyone, a second?
I'll second.
Terry seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Right. Board is approved for presentation to council. Thank you.
I will prepare that.
Thank you. Next item, jail policy review schedule. Tiffany.
Okay, so I color coded it on the amount of interest. So the red was the ones that had the most interest, and then yellow, and then green. And then I tried to keep it around between 25, 35 pages that we'd be reviewing each month. So this is my proposed schedule of the policies to review over the next year. So I don't know if anybody has any questions on it, or if you think this is good, well, we can just go. And obviously, if something comes up like the complaints and accommodations report came up this time, so I didn't want to add more to your plate this meeting. So, but if something comes up, we can push stuff. So, are you all good with that?
Looks good. Yeah, it's fantastic. Appreciate you limiting the extent of content to about 30 pages.
Yeah, I was like,
Excellent. Okay. Next item, 2025 complaints and accommodations. Deputy Chief.
Oh, I'm presenting on this? I thought I was answering questions on it. All right. So as you've seen in the last few years, we do, along with the use of force reporting, we do our complaints accommodations reporting. It's a matter of transparency, letting everybody know what comes in from the public, what concerns from the public are coming in, what type of investigations are taking place, what type of complaints are sustained or exonerated or not sustained, and kind of what we're doing about it. So it doesn't include officer specific information. We keep it at a kind of a 30,000 foot level view for everybody to take a look at and see. You'll notice our calls for service continue to increase. That happens. But you'll also see, we have different categories that we put in for calls for service. We have police calls for service, business calls for service, and jail bookings to kind of break it down for you as I skipped the page 2 here. And you'll notice we're at a 0.20% calls with complaints number, for lack of a better term, better way to categorize this. Are we ever going to be satisfied with any level of complaints? Of course not. We're always going to strive for 0 complaints or 0 sustained complaints as best we can, but we also recognize we have to do things when people have an issue with behavior or a result of a call for service. We're going to do what we can to respond to it and satisfy the question or the complaint that comes in from members of the public. So while 0.21% is a good number, it's still not something I want to strive for. I want to be better. So you'll notice we have some other breakdowns as far as types of allegations. We break it down: conduct, criminal, courtesy, honesty, truthfulness, loss, damaged property, report writing, search, seizure, use of force, and unknown. All types of categories in which we try to determine where are our complaints coming in, where can we get better. And I've brought along my policy so I can reference it, the code of conduct policy. It's an 8-page policy. It covers lots of stuff. We specifically try to call out courtesy within our complaints as something we can improve on. Oftentimes, a courtesy complaint can be viewed as a somewhat self-inflicted wound that we can get better on, and we can train our officers. Understanding police officers have bad days. Police officers are emotional and they're going to say things they shouldn't say sometimes. It's our job to correct behavior if it's warranted and call it out within a report. You'll notice certain levels are higher than others. You'll see conduct and courtesy allegations are higher than, say, honesty and truthfulness or report writing. So we try to break it down in a way that lets everybody know what type of complaints are coming in. So of the 110 community generated allegations that we received last year, 15% were sustained. And so obviously an 85% exoneration or non-sustained rate it's a number. I always strive for that to be higher, while recognizing we employ human beings, and human beings are fallible, and we're going to work on improving when there are issues that are called out by our community members. I also want to call your attention to page 6, the commendations. This is a commendations report as well, and we're very proud of the number of community-driven commendations that come in. When an average citizen that we come in contact with sends an email, makes a phone call, or lets the supervisor know that an employee do a good job, it's important that we recognize that, because that's also what drives good behavior. It also, an officer who may have received a complaint 3 months before for being rude on a traffic stop may have been called in, may have been told about this, that incident may have been dealt with. Maybe 3 months later, they're the ones that get the commendation from somebody for being proactive, helpful, polite, responsive on a call for service. That type of commendation really incentivizes our officers to continue high performance. We recognize officers are never going to perform at a 100% level every day, but when the commendations come in, every cop will tell you, "Oh, you don't need to give me a commendation. It's all right." We all secretly like it a little bit. It does make us feel that we are doing a good job. We're not looking for awards, but it sure is kind of nice when somebody does call in and say, I appreciated how that officer treated me or behaved or helped me today. It does motivate them to do well and hopefully lower the number of complaints that come in. In addition to community-driven accommodations, I've really stressed with our supervisors the importance of our supervisors recognizing both accommodations and misconduct as well. If a supervisor sees an officer misbehave, say something they shouldn't do, they're gonna call them out on that just as much as a community member would, but they're also going to commend an officer for the good work they do as well, for the same reasons I just mentioned. The positive stuff will motivate people to perform at a higher level, and that's always our goal. That's most of what I wanted to address, but I don't know if you have questions. You guys have questions? I am here to try to answer your questions as best I can. And I keep on looking at everybody at the table. I apologize for the folks online. I have to remember you're there too, and now I'm looking at you.
Deputy Chief, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm just picturing, kind of two pressures with a report like this. There's the public relations pressure from the community to respond to complaints, to see if they're legitimate. Then there's also the internal pressure as far as to communicate to officers, special patrol, you're taking care of, we got your back.
Yes, it's a balance.
Yeah. So how do you balance that where you're responding to the community? Because the community can easily be stronger, as far as the pressure and the voices at times. And so how do you balance between those?
I think we kind of always try to remind our officers we work in a profession. And with that means we have to act professional and encouraging them to our best behavior. It wins over negative people. It gains support from our community when we need them. It's been a long time since I've been in a patrol car, long time, but I've been on calls for service where I've been in a foot chase with somebody and I've had citizens help me run with me to try to track somebody down. That type of thing is how I sell this to our officers, of how we continually try to gain support and recognize people will have issues with what the police do sometimes. And we have to show that we're responsive and that we're willing to correct those issues. That's how we keep the support we have, and that's how we gain more support we need. I think most of our community recognizes that officers are human beings, they're fallible and they will make mistakes, but how we respond to it is how we gain more support, and letting our officers know I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to say that somebody had an issue. We've identified this issue didn't go the way it should, and we're trying to correct that behavior and encourage them to keep the positive behavior, because it eventually at the end of the day will help them. They'll get more support from the community that may have had that complaint that day, but they may be the one commending them 3 months later.
So you explain why to the officers.
The why is really important to the officers, is if they see it as us just coming down on them for no reason, being authoritarians, well, that's how you lose good officers, or you lose officers in general. You get people that are disgruntled, you get people who will speak negative. We try to attract officers to this agency and for the right reasons. And we've had success, like I mentioned earlier, hiring lateral officers, because maybe those officers leave their other agencies because of problems like you mentioned. I think we have to sell to our officers the reasons why we do it, why it's important to adapt. I come from a baseball background. And to me, it used to be able to slide hard into second base, used to go to home plate, used to be able to take out the catcher, but you can't do that anymore. Those rules have changed. The expectations of professional athletes have changed. Police officers are not any different than that. The rules change. We have to adapt and serve our community, because that's what they want to see from us, and letting our officers know we have to provide the community what they ask for, and that's our job. Selling it can be difficult sometimes, especially if it's somebody's in bigger trouble over something more substantive. But fortunately, that doesn't happen as often, and we try to handle this on the lowest level possible to get compliance and make that happen.
And thanks for explaining.
You're welcome.
One question.
Yes.
Two parts. So just looking at the year-over-year data on last page, notable that there's increases year-over-year for both complaints, but also accommodations, as well as number of employees who receive at least one. So I think that's a healthy balance that's happening there, in my opinion. Recently, there was an article somewhat in response to some reports out of Eugene Police Department that they'd had an increase in complaints year over year too, but that was tied in some ways to the fact that there were more calls for service the given year. So it's just a matter of probability as much as anything, as well as the types of issues that they were responding to. So in this case, immigration's enforcement, presence, automated license plate readers. So the issues that are happening within the community can also drive some of that too, is my understanding.
I think you make a great point, Eric. I think we live in a world that's it's a very difficult place right now. And people are swayed by what they see in the news and what's going on in the world, and it causes anxiety, stress, anger, and it can tend to generate general dissatisfaction with authority, the government, and to include our local police. And that may drive the number of complaints that come in because people are overall not satisfied with what they see is going on in the world on a federal, state, or local level. So that does, I think it is a factor of how people react. And if things are going great and the world's a happy place, the numbers of complaints probably do go down. I don't think it's anecdotal. I think it's probably somewhat accurate. So it's important to recognize that. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for today? Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Last item on the agenda, member information share. Usual go in order. Councilor Weber's not with us this evening. Josh, you're up first. Anything for you?
I don't have anything to share today.
Thank you. Daniel.
I think my feedback is more from the inter-department side. I mean, just as I've ridden with several of the night watch officers, you got a lot of young officers, man, they are proactive. And been very impressed with those officers in their twenties that are newer with the department, but very assertive in finding the bad stuff going on.
I'm happy to hear that. I don't think that's common in police work across the country right now with younger officers. They tend to be a little more risk adverse. Our FTOs, our field training officers, have done a great job of sharing what the community expects of them. And our community expects us to go look for people that are committing crimes and stop them before victims become victims. And our younger officers have really embraced that. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes. I've been impressed.
Thank you.
Cindy's not with us this evening. So Jonathan, anything for you?
Nope, just want to say I've noticed an increased Springfield police presence just out on the streets and patrolling, and definitely impacts the way people are driving and conducting themselves. So good job on that front. The presence of not only the officers, but the community service officers, it's definitely seemed to make a difference in how people are conducting themselves on the street.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Sophia is also out. So Terry.
Yeah, I have nothing. You?
Right.
Yeah. I just want to echo kind of what Brett already said about the K9 news piece for Mr. Cardwell. It was really good. It was really neat to see that. I hope you do get a chance to see it. It's on their webpage. Okay. So you can look at it and see. But it shows it in a really good light. Kind of shows about the activity of the officers. Used to see a lot more of that stuff. I don't know if it used to be on like Facebook and things when those things went on, but haven't seen too many of the positive things from officers with the Jet Fund or any of those kind of things lately in the news. But it is, as a community member, it's kind of nice to see those things and hear, kind of the good things that are happening from the police department too.
That's a good reminder. I'm of a generation in a way that sometimes we're afraid to toot our own horn. And I think it's important to show the positive things and highlight that and not seem braggadocious about it, but just seem like, hey, we're sending good, positive news out there. So that's something I'll talk to Tiffany about. I'll talk to my boss about how we can do this in a way that people aren't overwhelmed every day with positive, cheesy police things, but good, positive human stories. And I think we could be better at that.
Cardwell and Yulee will be at the Drifters Touch a Truck thing on Sunday if you want to see her in person.
There you go.
Sure, it'll be popular.
Mr. Yancey, anything for you?
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Just, we're wrapping down our school year. Obviously, we had a graduation last night. We have one tonight. We have our two comprehensive graduations tomorrow night. And just highlighting our continued relationship with Springfield Police Department and our school resource officers. Those two are amazing. And we've had great ones in the past, but I will tell you that Officer Amundsen and Officer Newton they stand above the other ones we've had. It's been I have a great relationship with them. I love working with them, and they are so good with our students, understanding that push pull between enforcement and counseling and mentoring and all the things that go along with working with kids. And looking forward to another year with those two. And George, or I'm sorry, Deputy Chief Crawley, I would kindly ask that you not take them away from us anytime soon.
I have no intention to do that anytime soon. Thanks for the kind words. Those two really care about their job. It's a tricky job to do. Like you said, balancing enforcement with mentoring and guiding and counseling. And I couldn't pick two better officers right now to do that. So thank you.
I guess that leaves me the last couple things to share. We are expecting at this point the levy pass that was on the ballot. So moving into our budget season, June 16th, with funding that we hope to have to be able to keep level services where they're at for Lamley Parks and Rec. So happy about that. Couple things coming up with summer. We're very focused right now on educating and enforcing safe use of a variety of different e-mobility devices throughout our parks, multi-use paths and facilities. It's a very dynamic situation. I think even at the state level, there was recently some legislation passed that will go into effect first of the year around e-mobility devices, change the minimum age limit for certain ones of those. So I just want you all to know that we are working very hard to keep people safe and utilizing those in a respectful manner. Got a public education campaign signs out along certain paths in partnership with Lane County. And I think City of Springfield is also coordinating on that as well. On that note, there was a video that City of Springfield had put together about a year ago that made its way out on social media, just with some educational content. So find that and share that with friends and family and others. Certainly appreciate it as well. Other thing from a safety standpoint, there was an article in Lookout Eugene Springfield just this morning about some new safety signage that was installed at Eastgate Woodlands Boat Ramp. It's the same type of sign at Highland Park and ones at the Clearwater Park that will be installed shortly. Just alerting people to the fact of the low-head dam that is immediately upriver, the I-5 overpass, and some of the risks and hazards that are associated with that structure. Unfortunately, we've had some drowning deaths associated with that over the years. And so we've partnered with Lane County Sheriff's Marine Patrol, City of Eugene, and some other local organizations that are stakeholders to try and publicize, educate the community about that risk and how to avoid it. So feel free to share that with friends and family as well. Otherwise, we're looking forward to a fun and enjoyable, exciting summer, hopefully smoke free. So yeah, that's it for me. Any other items to mention? Okay, if not, I will adjourn the meeting at 6:34. Thank you.
Everybody.
You.